We experienced a disconcerting sproing moment recently when these parts appeared. Some research revealed that they are part numbers 60 and 61 in this diagram. The parts manual identifies them as the card reader release cam spring and a nut.
All right, we were helping a knitting friend with this little tower right here, and it's the stop for the change of direction. So what I'm going to do is be the carriage going back and forth, and you notice that this tower stops this assembly right here. I'll do it one more time. Stops it on this side, stops it on this side. And this is your direction indicator. On the cover, there's two arrows. It's either going this way or it's going that way. So this appears under the arrow telling you what direction you were going when you made the change. Now the friend we were trying to help would move the carriage from left to right, and it would advance the card 5 times because this wasn't in place. So what we did on video recently was take the 2 screws out here to release this, to take some measurements and show her how hers should look and the amount of clearance right around this cam. But now watch this guy for a second. Notice he's bouncing up and down. That's what releases the U-shaped bolts that read the card, so that when you change direction and the card advances, those are down out of the way. Now here's what happened. We went to put it back together and these guys showed up. We had a sproing moment. So we pulled this back out of the case. I will flip it over. And again, now I've got to hold this up because if I don't, that guy that we watch jump up and down, see what he's doing? He's raising this bar, which is raising all of these U-shaped
the staples.
Rods. The staples.
I call them that. Yeah. That's not their real name.
Yeah, but these are the card reader rods, so that when this is up, and I will, there you go. See how it lifts the staples? And what that's doing is clearing the holes in the card so it can advance one more row. And then they go back. Now this is what's doing that. Watch it. See how the cam comes up, lifts that bar, and then drops it again. Now we're changing directions and it's going to do it again. That is what clears the card to be able to advance just like so. We were trying to figure out, where did this guy come from? It's obviously threaded. It's a nut. So the nut came from something, and the spring, all right, it looks as if the hip of that nut fits right in the end of that spring. And I remember commenting on the fact that there was one long screw and one short screw in that plate that we took off for our friend. Now watch this. That threads right down on that long screw, traps the spring on that end, and then we put the spring over this cam riser, 8mm, tighten it up.
This spring only shows up beginning in the 890 parts manuals, and it does not last very long. We think only through the 890s series. Later brother models don't show it in the manual.
But now notice what it does. It gets this cam out of the way very rapidly. It assists this in getting out of the way after the change.
So if you own a model that's having punch card issues and you have a machine that's supposed to have this spring, it's worth having a look and seeing if it's where it ought to be.
Because if this spring broke, or if this tip broke, you wouldn't know it because it'll be in the bottom of the case.